Hey, it's Lynn.
Hey, it's Tanya.
We want to talk about the DMs today because we got a lot of shifting in the community with the DMs. We've got two categories of DMs. We've got the original DMs, and there aren't very many of them left, let's be honest, the original twin DMs. And then there are the walk-in DMs that are kind of new to this journey. They've had this shit dropped in their lap and they're scrambling trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So we want to talk about where they're at. For those of you DMs that end up catching this, we're going to talk to you about what to pay attention and what not to, because there's a lot of crap in the community from people that are not twins and people that really are not genuinely on this journey, that are really leading a lot of people astray. And so we want to tell you guys kind of what you got to look for and what you don't, to make sure that if you want to move through this journey successfully, then you've got the right information. And then we want to talk to DFs, like how to actually help your DM through this shit, because it's brutal. We are at the stage now where it's not just, separating the strong from the weak. It's like even the strongest are being booted out. It's only the strongest are going to survive. So we are all being called to come together for a reason. We're all being called to make the choice to commit to this journey 100%. And then rock it. One thing I do want to touch on really quick is that the DFs and the DMs, it's just terminology within the community. We've got feminines, we've got masculines. Feminines are supposed to lead. The masculines are coming into their awakening now. But this isn't gender specific. This could be a DF, could be a male. DM could be female. So don't get hung up on the DF, the DM label, right? It's leading and there's two of you. Figured out. Okay. Well, it's true. Shit. We have some twins that are both female. We have some twins that are both male. We have transgender twins. So don't get hung up on the gender. Just rock it through. The DF is the one that has been really immersed in this the whole time. And the DM is coming into the awakening and the knowing of kind of what's going on. And so that's kind of what we're working with right now. If you are just coming into this journey and you feel like you might be a DM, a divine masculine, you are not behind at all. It is designed that you are stepping into place right now. There is a lot of confusion from the DMs and a lot of the DMs that we work with that are like, holy shit, I feel like I've got to have this master's course in like a week. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to learn this all in 1 week? It just got dropped in my lap. She's been digging through this stuff for a year or 2 or 3 or more. It was designed this way. You're not supposed to know everything that the DF knows. The DF is kind of like prepping you to bring you into your power, because when you come into your power, you're going to mop all over her.
Well, yeah, and it's not just that. A lot of DMs actually think that they have the same paradigm of, I'm the man, I'm supposed to do all this. I'm the breadwinner, I'm this, I'm that. No. It's not necessarily that way. The thing is that the DFs, we were supposed to awaken first. Not necessarily even awaken first. I don't even want to say that. We grab an awareness of certain things first, because we're supposed to lead energetically.
Okay, so the DMs and the DFs have started on opposite ends of the spectrum in this twin journey. This is why the DMs are not behind, okay? So get that out of your mind. If you're a DM and you're like, holy shit, how come I'm being dropped in this? And how come she's teaching me all this shit I didn't know? I'm supposed to lead, I'm the male. It doesn't work like that at all. The DFs have come into this from a 3D level. So we come into this knowing that this is what we are, this is what we're supposed to do. And we have to learn ourselves into the soul level, into all of the metaphysical stuff, all the energetic stuff, all of the stuff that helps us to communicate with you on a soul level, the connection to team, the connection to you in a telepathic level, the 5D connection, all of this stuff, we have to move up into that until we're completely mastered. You guys, the DMs, start way up at the top. You're starting at the soul level and you're getting all your information on the soul level, all of it. You guys are, what we're doing is we're kind of like switching places, right? So the DMs are at the point where everything in the soul level is starting to push out in the 3D level into your awareness and in your real life that you're like, what the fuck? So it's leaking out into a lot of the DMs' lives where they're like, I'm feeling like I need to find my purpose. I'm feeling like this twin thing, there's something to it and I got to figure it out. There's a calling. You're feeling pulled on the soul level to move into a direction that you know is important for you. And all of the pieces are starting to fall together. That makes sense? Yeah. So we're coming at it from two different sides. We're here, you're there. We're just actually just trading places is all we're doing. There's not one that's behind or ahead.
We've got some DMs that are extremely advanced. A lot of them hide it quite well, actually.
Really well.
Anyway.
Sneaky.
They come in extremely advanced, and it's almost like the DMs have to actually catch up. So it's not the DMs that are really behind. It's us that we have all the, these DFs that have all these things that we need to learn to basically catch up to where the DMs are. It's almost like a flip-flop, and the DFs or the DMs don't see it that way. But that's what we're running into a lot.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. So with the DFs, like we've gone through all this stuff, or we have to leave our 3D behind. We have to figure out what serves us, what doesn't, and we move towards that, and we move towards mastery. The DMs, a lot of the DMs, and if you're a DM and this is happening to you, this is why you are being pushed to get rid of everything in your life that does not serve your purpose. So it doesn't necessarily mean you got to throw everything away and you're going to have a shitty life and you're going to like live in Skid Row kind of crap. It's not like that at all. It's like, find your purpose. As long as you are pursuing your purpose head first and you're diving into it and you're giving it your all and you're asking team, okay, what the hell are you asking your twin? What do I got to do to pursue this? As long as you're pursuing it and you're moving away from what doesn't serve you, you will be provided for. This is the trickiest thing because you have to move into pure faith, right? I might leave this job behind where I make a shit ton of money and I've got kids to provide for, but I'm moving into my purpose. And as long as you're doing what that purpose is, everything will fall into place, but it's the hardest thing to trust. So I've done it. Tanya's done it. Most of the DFs have done it, where you're moving into your purpose, you're focusing on what serves you, and you're moving away from what does not in all areas of your life. It could be relationships. It could be jobs. It could be, people you hang out with. It could be activities. It could be a lot of things, but you're being pushed to move into your path, your true DM path.
Yeah. And it's funny because even if you're resisting, you're still going to be picked up and moved. So it's almost going to look like your whole world's going to fall apart because they're going to take you out of that job. It could be you're forced to quit, or you're laid off, or you're fired. I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah.
It's almost like being stubborn doesn't help you because it just gets worse. I promise you, I know firsthand experience. So it's almost like the more you resist, the more they're like, no, we're going to move you in this direction. We have had in the past a few DFs and DMs that have decided with their free will to stick on a specific path. But for the most part, they will pick you up and move you if it doesn't serve you. So
it's kind of like an easy way or hard way thing where it's like, if you want to move through this on your own and you really want to go gung-ho and you're going to do everything you can, they will support you through it, and it's not going to be so painful. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a transition. It's going to seem like it's really scary, but as long as you're trusting and team will provide. If you are resisting and you're saying, fuck it, I'm going to stick here and I'm going to basically resist and hold out, it'll be ripped away from you in one way or another. And a lot of DMs that we're seeing are going through this right now where their entire lives, it's not just one thing, but it's everything that doesn't serve them is being expunged from their lives. Because we're at the point where all twins need to be rocking forward. So whoever's not rocking forward, they're basically shaking everything out of their tree that doesn't fit their purpose.
Yeah, and it's happening for the DFs and the DMs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just one or the other. It's most of the time, of course, with the DFs, as we're moving and shifting our stuff in the 3D, we move out of the 3D faster because it's almost like, okay, the DMs are working on their soul level. You're working on your 3D. So it's kind of like our shit gets tossed away first. And then it's kind of like as the soul moves down, you know, the soul level moves down for the DMs, then their 3D is getting shaken. But at this point, both DFs and the DMs are having all this last shifts that need to happen. It's all happening at once.
Yep. So if you've got some difficulty in your life that's like it seems like it's really traumatic for you, it's probably something you haven't mastered yet, and team is just shaking and shaking and shaking it out of you until you handle it. Mm-hmm. So there's that.
Like it can be extremely small things, but the more it's resisted, the bigger it'll get. So it's just kind of like, okay, it's almost like go to team or sit down and really, really think about it, really, really go into it. Find out exactly what's trying to be shaken out, what doesn't serve you. And if it is, just let it go. Just release it.
We've seen massive progress with people who have been holding on and holding on and holding on to stuff that they needed so badly that was 3D. And team tried to take it, finally like put the brakes on everything to the point where they're like, I can't even keep it if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. And for the people that were in that position that was said, you know what, I don't even need it. Actually don't need it. Mm-hmm. And just let it go. You would not believe the day after, it's like all this other stuff started. And okay, let's take it to a new spot. And then just this other stuff started flowing in. The most important thing with this is having trust in team. Have trust. Doing what you're supposed to do, you are going to be, you're going to be moved along and moved forward, and you're going to see that things aren't as difficult as you think they are.
I've actually been told by God himself one day when I wouldn't move out of my 3D position because I was in this kind of secure spot where I was comfortable, and they were like, and he was just like, don't you trust me? And I'm sorry, but as a God-centered journey, and that's supposed to be, you know, following what team's saying, and we preach it all the time now, but with him saying that, it was almost like a direct slap to me. Like, what the hell am I doing? That day I went in, turned in my 2 weeks. It was just that fast. As soon as he told me that, I was just like, okay, you know, we sit here and we pray for all this guidance. We ask for it, but when they give it to us, we don't listen. We resist what they're telling us.
Yeah.
The second that it's released, it's a huge relief, honestly. Yeah.
And if you actually trust and you allow and you release, what you move into is 100 times more fulfilling, and you're going to realize you never had anything to worry about in the first place. Mm-hmm. It's very freeing. So if you can bring yourself to the place where you can just let go and let be, things are going to turn out way better than you ever imagined.
Right.
If you trust. For you DMs, okay, we have a lot of DMs that are trying to figure this journey out, because here's another thing. For those twins that are actually left, which is a very small percentage of this twin community, for those that are actually original twins, like you've been a twin from the beginning, there's been no walk-in situation, there are very few of you, but for those of you that are in this position, you are starting to awaken. The DM is starting to awaken at certain levels. Everybody is at a different place, but kind of all moving in the same direction. So we've got a lot of DMs that are waking up in different levels. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of the walk-ins that just dropped into place, and they're like, how do I navigate this? But if you're a walk-in, you're not behind. So if you're a walk-in and you're moving into this community and you're like, holy shit, I got another 5 years, 7 years, 10 years from everything that I'm seeing of this hellish fucking journey because everybody else had to and I just started. No, if you're a walk-in, you are in the same place as every other DM because you've already done a lot of the work before you were put into this position. And you came in strong because of the work that you've done. So if you're a walk-in, you're coming in the same spot as every other DM. You guys are all the same. We're on the same team. You're in the same place. Don't think you're behind because you're a walk-in.
Yeah. It's almost like you're right where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like take the stress off of yourself.
Exactly.
We've seen some DMs that are just absolutely stressing.
Bad.
Because it's just, well, I've got to know this. I'm supposed to know this. No, you're really not supposed to know it. You're right where you're supposed to be, and you're moving along the way you're supposed to. It's kind of like what everybody hears in this twin flame community is that you awaken when you're supposed to. Well, you kind of are. But it's more along the lines of doing the work. If the work is done, yeah, you're right exactly where you're supposed to be. So it's kind of like stop stressing. All you're doing is blocking yourself. Just keep moving forward with what you got.
Absolutely.
And make sure you're not paying attention to misinformation.
The twin flame community as a whole is full of a lot of card readers, there's a lot of woo-woo bullshit, as God calls it, and that's the way we see it too. There's a lot of this me energetic, I am one, I am my twin. There's a lot of misinformation out there. If there's also a lot of this, and we see DMs get crippled by this every single day because the DMs are moving into this awareness of the 3D of, oh my God, I'm on this journey. What the hell does this mean? They're looking for information. They move into the twin community and they see all these DFs bashing their twin, going, I'm giving up. I want to go date some other guy. This is bullshit. Where the hell is he? I'm tired of it. I'm exhausted. I'm fed up. And the problem is, that's not really where the people that are still on path are. If these people are complaining about their DMs in any way, if they're bashing their DMs, if they're giving up on their DMs, they're not still on path. Tanya and I talked about this last October, November. For any DM that or any DF that is bashing her twin or saying, I'm sick of this, I give up on him, boom, instant yank.
Yeah.
So
feel your fate, whether just with one. It's because we've moved into a portion of this spiritual work. We can't have that. It's kind of like you're supposed to be unconditionally loving. You're supposed to understand where your DM's at. It doesn't matter if there's a karmic there. It doesn't matter if he's, off doing whatever, and it seems like he's not doing the work that he's supposed to be doing. I hate to say it, DFs, but if you were doing your work, your DM you wouldn't be feeling this way. Yep. Period. Because it's one of those things where we work with a lot of DFs. We work with DMs. It's very rare that we hear someone say, well, I'm done. I'm going to go date somebody else. Seriously? Okay, bye.
We won't work with you if you have that attitude, because we know damn well that you're not on path anymore if you say it even once. It's just like,
yeah,
you made the choice. It's a choice, actually, because every DM and every DF has to make a final choice. They may get tested a lot. They might get pushed around and twizzled around by God for a while. But every DM and every DF has a major final choice where they have to choose to commit to this journey 100%. It's like, are you committed? Are you devoted to this? Doesn't mean you have to do everything perfectly, but you have to put your heart into it and dive into it and not be willing to give up, not be willing to bash your twin. You got to move in every step. You're moving forward towards mastery and you're moving into your path. So if you're saying you're giving up, if you're saying I'm sick of this, you're not committed.
Plus, there's a lot of expectation that comes from DMs, and these DMs are watching this shit. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'm going to get on a little tirade here. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
Lynn and I cringe when we see shit like that, because it's like all these DMs are out here watching all this shit. They're watching how the DFs are acting. And you know what? Believe it or not, they're forming their own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you can do what you want, say what you want, but if you're actually in this mentality of he's not doing what I want him to do, he's not talking to me like he should be, blah 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 blah.
Me,
All
me,
these
me, 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 me.
yeah, you're not in unconditional love, period. And you will, if you're still on path, you won't be for long.
Exactly. So if you're a DM and you're out there and you're watching stuff like this, if you're seeing somebody bash you as a DM, if you're seeing someone say I give up, or it's like all about union, don't pay attention to it. Don't. Because those people are not on path anymore, or they're on their way out quickly. What we want you to pay attention to is moving into a soul level connection with your twin, and really just paying attention, allowing and receiving that support from them. Because the twins that are the DFs that are still on path right now are hardcore in doing whatever they can to assist their DM right now, because they know that the DMs that are moving into their awakening right now, and the walk-ins that are like, I'm trying to figure this out, but they're supposed to be moving into the same place as the originals. They're all being pushed to start moving into their roles. Push, push, push. It's confusing. It's like having a master's course dropped in your lap and you're like, I got to get this done in a week, but she's had years. So it's really overwhelming, on top of you've got your whole 3D life crumbling and tower moment, let's call it that, crumbling around them, right? So you've got your 3D world falling apart. All twins were brought up to, I don't even want to get into it, but all twins have been assisted in helping your vibration. We'll just leave it at there. If you guys want to know about that, messages separately, because I'm not talking about it on here, because we know the wrong people are watching. Anyway, so you got a lot of these things going on at once, and there's a lot of pressure, right? So you got DMs that are like trying to figure this out. They're coming into the community and they're seeing all this union-driven pressure, and then all of this convoluted, he's a piece of shit because he hasn't been here the whole time bullshit. Don't pay attention to that. What we want you to do is, here's how you can help your DM. So the DFs right now that are still on path, they're very, very focused on mastery. They're very, they have moved deeply into unconditional love. They're compassionate for you. They have held a place for you, and they're waiting for their DM to ask questions, to ask for assistance, for support, for compassion, because all the DFs have already been through all this shit for years. So your job as a DF is to go, okay, I'm just going to sit back and I'm going to keep doing what I can do. I'm going to master my soul level connection with him so I can assist him and connect him with team. Super important that you connect your DM with team so that they can get the guidance that they need on the soul level. They're doing a lot of this, connect them with team, have team assist them, tell them everything that they need on the soul level. Master your telepathy with your twin. Master your soul level or your cord level connection with your twin. Master your 5D with your twin. Everything that you send them on the soul level is sinking in.
Oh yeah. It may trickle in slowly. It's not going to be like you have a full-on conversation with them through telepathy. It's not going to happen that way.
Right.
The thing is excuse me, God told me the other day that it's almost like you take them up, you're talking to them on a soul level. It trickles the way it needs to. It's not going to be like full-on conversation about whatever. It's the bits and pieces of information that they need is being given.
Mm-hmm.
The time that it's being, that it's needed. So we've had some that even the DMs have actually started figuring out the telepathy, and they send things to the DFs, and the DFs don't get it. They're like, wait a minute, I told you this yesterday. And the DF's like, no, you didn't. But he's talking through telepathy. That right there is showing that they're getting their DM abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Quit knocking them because you don't think they're where they would need to be. Because I, for one, have seen so much shit that the DMs are going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like God just took the rug and just yanked it out from under them.
Yeah.
And they're literally standing there with all these balls that they're juggling while the damn rug is being pulled out from under them, trying to stay on their feet and keep juggling, keep all their balls in the air. So it's kind of like, back off, give them the support they need, love them energetically. You know, give them love, faith, and trust energetically all the time. If you feel their stress, because trust me, you feel it.
Well, yeah, you do.
If you're a true twin, you feel it. If he's stressed, stop. What's it going to take? 10 seconds? Send him love, faith, and trust and move on about your day. That's how you're supposed to be helping them. That's the way we've all been supposed to be helping them the whole time.
Yep.
And the ones that are still on the path have done it. So you already know. But it's just like, it's the smallest things. I went into a DM before, and he would tell me that just his DF moving through her day and sending him love when she felt him being stressed, or even if she felt something in her heart chakra, she would respond to him like, "Oh, I love you." And it would pick him up and help him finish his day. There's nothing wrong with that. And you're not going, it's almost like, what have you got to lose? 2 seconds? Okay.
Some of the DMs that we go to, it's like, I went to one the other day. That's all it's the only positive reinforcement he has in the whole day.
Yeah.
Because you have the mother love for them. You have the unconditional, no matter what you do. I mean, you could rob a bank, and no matter what you did, you know your twin loves you more than anything. Like, they need that right now. So if you are truly a twin and you still have that soul connection, feed it to them all day long. The minute you feel them stressing, because all the DMs right now are having their lives flipped inside out and handed to them. It's really harsh. Yeah, I mean, it's tragic. It's like life-changing shit from every possible direction at once. Most of them are going through this in some way. So all you have to do is, when you feel them stressing, send it to them. Like, calm it down. If you guys don't know how to do that, reach out, because we can do that, and we can teach you that in like half an hour. It's not a big deal. But you are the lifeblood for each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So fill him up. Fill him up every single day. Some of them are like, it like makes the difference between being able to get this and endure it and not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be a game changer, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Everybody is where they're supposed to be. You guys are all kicking ass. If you are still on this path, you're there because you're doing something right. What you're doing is right. Just put your heart into it. Oh, I know there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. There was a DM the other day that said to me, "Holy shit, I'm just a guy. What the fuck? She's doing all this crazy shit with her abilities, and I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm just a guy. Like, why do I got to do all this stuff? I don't know how to do this stuff." And he feels like he's never going to measure up, because he's walking into this with his huge expectations of what he thinks this role entails. What you're doing is what you're doing right. So if you're on this journey, whatever you're doing right. As you move through it, things change. You'll learn things. You'll learn stuff with your twin. You're getting guidance from team, and you baby step and little things trickle in. What's going to trickle in is going to be what you need to have trickle in.
Yeah.
So don't compare yourself to somebody else. There's a bazillion different roles in this. There's a bazillion different levels, different job descriptions. Some people fight, some people don't. Some people heal, some people don't. So you are only moving into the role that is perfect for you. It's who you are. So there's no way that you can bomb this if you're trying.
No.
There's that. Hang in there.
Yes, it will ease up.
Yeah.
It's not going to be this way all the time.
No.
It's almost like once you guys actually start grasping, it's almost like right now, it seems the DMs, they're getting, look at it as a puzzle. They're getting the outside, they're getting the edges, they're putting all those together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the first thing that most people, when they're doing a puzzle, what they're doing. But then they start putting the other pieces together. But it's almost like you have to have the information to put the pieces together. So it's almost like kind of the DFs need to remove some of this pressure that they're giving to their DMs energetically, because a lot of this is they're feeling more on an energetic level than they are even in the 3D.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a lot of DFs also who have been out there going, well, why do I got to do the work? And when is he going to blah, 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 blah. If you still have that mentality, you're probably not on path, because everybody's where they're supposed to be. For the DFs that are having this mentality, and you will hear this a lot in the community, a lot of the DFs going, well, why do I have to do all the work? And they're resentful because they've done all of this clearing and the work that they've done, right? They're saying, why do I have to do all this? And now he has to come in and he's just starting this. It doesn't make sense. Kind of look at it like this. It's kind of what Michael showed me earlier today was you are bringing somebody into a company that's going to be very powerful, but you're like the office manager, or you're going to be their partner, but you have to train them on all of the things in the office. And here's where you get your badge, and here's where you get your lunch, and here's how you get your paycheck. And it's just a lot of this orientation stuff. You're just helping them move into their job so they can kick ass with you.
right.
They've been doing other things. You've been doing other things. You don't get your paycheck if you don't teach them how to do their job.
Well, the thing is too, is just because they're not looking at this as a twin journey, they don't know the twin flame. They don't know all this damn jargon that we use.
Yeah.
It's a label to them. They know there's a soul connection there. That's the most important thing. Doesn't matter what you call it. Potato, potato, same damn thing. It's just, they're right where they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I can promise you, if they're at the point where they're coming into the knowledge of this, they've got a hell of a lot more understanding than you give them credit for. Period. Yeah. So.
And don't push it.
Mm-mm.
Don't push it at all. Help them with information if they're asking for it. But unless team pushes it on you and you validated that it's team that wants you to push that on them, back off.
Yeah.
Let them have their space. They need to navigate it just like you did.
Exactly.
Have patience with them so that
There's
they can absorb and get through this at the pace that they need to. It's a lot. It's a lot.
There's one thing that I heard, and I've been hearing the whole time. And it's that they move. Well, no. Everybody's got their own journeys to go down. They're on their journey. You're on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you get the work done, both of you, that's when you come together. That's when the paths merge. Otherwise, he's still doing his thing. You're still doing your thing. If your ass is over here and you're looking at the DM and he's over here doing this. Well, why the hell are you not moving forward on your path? Because eventually it's supposed to loop around to where you walk it together.
Yeah.
There's so much in the community where everybody is worried about what their DM is doing. Stop worrying about it. If you're doing your job, trust he's doing his. If you don't trust him, he sure as fuck's not going to trust himself. I'm sorry. It's just the truth.
It's truth.
So,
it's acceptance, trust, faith, love, compassion.
surrender.
That's all it takes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that. Sorry for the tangent, but Tanya and I have seen so many DMs get beat up, and it's infuriating. It really is. We look in the community, and like we don't even look in the community anymore because everybody's just bashing the DMs, and it's like they're where they're supposed to be.
But what's heartbreaking is these DMs are looking at this.
Mm-hmm.
They hear your opinion of them. And I'm sorry, it's not pretty. I would not want my DM looking in this fucking community.
Fuck no.
In fact, I've told him to not even pay attention to it. Just don't fucking look at it.
Yep.
Because it's going to form an opinion of all DFs, including me. And it's like, no, that's not what this is about. So you guys have got to have a perspective change. Because if you don't, you're not helping a damn thing. Sorry. But
yeah. This is why we're supposed to lead. Mm-hmm. We went through it all, and we get to help them through it. And that's what we're supposed to do. So cut the resentment about it.
Yeah.
Move into compassion, love, support, acceptance, allowance, faith, and trust.
Yep. Okay.
And that's it. Easy breezy. Okay. Love y'all.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.